adventures in a great new show. It's an all-new Saturday morning. You see it in us, Everest. It's an all-new Saturday morning.
Hello and welcome to Classic Cartoon Rewind, the podcast where we provide audio commentary and watch-along tracks for cartoons published between 1940 through 1999 that are either based on or inspired by comic books. I'm your host, Carter Hutchison.
And I'm your co-host, Huey V.
And Huey, welcome back to the second episode here of our coverage of Batman the Animated Series from the 90s.
Good stuff.
So excited.
Good stuff, man.
Today we are covering episode 3, Nothing to Fear, which is going to be the first appearance of the Scarecrow.
One of the trippiest characters.
Yeah,
like, if you think about it, I think one of the scariest characters.
Yeah.
In his whole gallery of villains.
Right.
No matter where you put him in any type of universe, he
it's horrifying. Yeah.
I think they put him in Arrow. We had this conversation at one point. Yeah.
Okay.
And you're just like, of course, it's going to use Batman villains for...
Yeah, just going to keep on stealing Batman villains.
I was like, him being in... I like that better than what they did with Scarecrow in the Nolan movies.
Okay.
He was in the Nolan movies, right?
Yeah, I like those. I like that adaptation.
I like those too,
that version.
But it was kind of like he was a politician, and he was like screwing with people. This was in the Arrowverse.
Oh, he was a politician in the Arrowverse. Okay. And the Nolan ones, he's straight up, psychiatrist, just like he is in the comics and the show. There's a book that came out this past week, Batman: Last Night on Earth, that Zack Snyder's doing, and there's a cool redesign. It's kind of like
that looks dope.
It's really cool. It's kind of like the Old Man Logan for Batman.
Oh, okay.
And it's like a post-apocalyptic kind of world, and Batman's trying to stumble through it. He doesn't he woke up to it, right? So he's trying to understand how it came to be. But apparently, Scarecrow and Bane have joined forces, and the Scarecrow toxin is mixed with the venom that makes Bane strong, and it's really interesting. But yeah, the picture is
what does
worth
that do to him?
I don't know, but it's just cool to see Scarecrow kind of on his back. I wonder if he's whispering in his ear evil shit to do. I don't know. I haven't read it yet, but it looks like
I was just saying, is he actually there, or is it since the toxins are mixed?
That's an interesting question.
Would he be just?
I can't tell you until I read it.
Because I'm looking at the thing, and it's just he's over his shoulder. You don't have questions, you know.
That's right. Yeah.
It looks pretty cool.
No, it's been good so far. At least the first issue. And so then the fourth episode of the series that we're also covering tonight is Last Laugh.
That's another Joker.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So 2 of the 4 first episodes are Joker appearances here, which, I'm not going to complain about seeing Mark Hamill's Joker too much.
Yeah.
I don't think that's really... So this is the point of the podcast where we usually... go into world events of the episodes that we're covering, but this month, as far as September of 1992, there really wasn't too much going on as far as world events.
We already covered a good.
So for the previous episode, we covered the whole month of September. So if you're interested and you want some cultural backgrounds to what the world is like at the time of this episode coming out, check out our previous episode of Classic Cartoon Rewind with Batman the Animated Series. So we're going to go ahead and dive right on into it. While you are pulling up Nothing to Fear, episode 3 of Batman the Animated Series, here is a quick message from our Patreon. All of Grassroots Comics is funded through our Patreon, patreon.com/grassrootscomics. For as little as $1 a month, you can become part of the Grassroots Comics community, which includes many perks, such as having your name mentioned in this segment of every episode of the podcast, the ability to suggest topics of discussion for shows like These Guys Have Issues, access to the private Grassroots Comics subreddit, where members can continue discussions started on the podcast or start their own, behind-the-scenes access to the GRC studio, and early access to digitally released comics and Classic Cartoon Rewind. So it is the goal of all of us here at Grassroots Comics Productions that one day the Patreon is strong enough where we are able to produce the stories, artwork, and stop-motion animation shorts pitched and selected by the Grassroots Comics community. But the only way that becomes possible is with a strong Patreon. So if you feel that the entertainment value you receive from this podcast is at least worth 25 cents, then please become a Patreon contributor today, and with our powers combined, we can have all of our stories heard. All right, now let's get on with the rest of the show. All right, and we're back. You can legally watch Batman the Animated Series on the DC Universe app in stunning HD. And, you know, they sold DVDs of them for forever and, like, collector's cases and stuff. So
ad-free.
Exactly.
Since you already pay for it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we've got that beautiful WB logo on pause. I am hitting play in 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's get it. No, I don't want to skip the intro.
No, never. Right.
I appreciate the offer.
Right.
No.
There's some stuff that I do. Some intros, especially like I feel like some Netflix show intros gets like repetitive. It's the same thing for seasons.
And you know me, I'm a big anime fan. And I know it's like a cardinal sin to like skip through the intros, but I'll give it like a couple of episodes of starting the anime.
Right.
And then
I get it.
I will skip through it because it's a whole entire song.
Yeah.
It's a whole song.
Right. I get it.
I'm not doing that for another 100 episodes, One Piece.
Man, this intro is so great. It's really just like everything you need to know about Batman.
Yeah.
Just condensed into one tiny little short feature. Dialogueless even.
Literally could
textless.
That if they did Batman and like Max Fleischer did Batman, that would probably be like the whole entire episode right there.
Somebody needs to like YouTube together a crossover between Max Fleischer Superman and Batman the Animated Series. Some quick editing to make it look like they're on the same thing. All right, so we've got Gotham at sunset here. Nice little golden hue. A mafia-looking guy up to no good. That's what that Tommy gun gives away, right?
Yeah, I feel like we had this conversation last time where it was like around this time, back in the 80s and up to this point, you couldn't put like too much violence in the cartoon.
No, or too realistic of firearms.
You're like, firearms were actually, you couldn't do that. Well, it's Warner Brothers, so they're going to do whatever they want to do anyway.
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, this series, Batman the Animated Series, actually did have some of the more realistic-looking guns as far as cartoons in the early 90s are concerned. So that's the outfit that Bruce is always in. You know, that brown suit with that is a bad suit, man. Like, that mustard-looking undershirt, right?
Or the button up. Is like that's awesome, or bad is
bad as in like that is an ugly ass suit.
Yeah,
Bruce.
for somebody,
like, you're a billionaire. You should be able to afford more than one type of suit.
Oh man, I think it was just them trying to contrast the background with whatever he's wearing, because like later in like different series, he's always wearing like a black suit or something like that.
In the next ones, like when Tim Drake comes along, he wears a black suit with a white button-up and a red tie, and that looks great. Not a fan of the suit. It's mostly the yellow. If that was just white, I'd be fine with it.
I don't.
Who wears a yellow button-up with brown?
It's totally the 90s. It's so 90s, though. Those type of colors were always kind of thrown together.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a beautiful
There's some
score.
Batman shit about to go down. That's what that means.
Explosion!
Right. That's like hearing like the beginning of the Indiana Jones scene, like dun 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 dun. Like you just know something. Indy's about to do some cool shit, right? A whip's gonna get cracked. Firearm pulled.
So, sorry to go off track.
Okay.
So you mentioned Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a film major, so you probably know this. The part where he's about to get into like the whole whip action fight.
I love this story. Yeah. It's in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it's a guy with a bunch of swords.
Yeah, and he just pulls out the gun and shoots him
right
and
in the middle of the square. Yeah.
And it was supposed to be like a dope fight between the two of them. But Harrison Ford had like this sickness or something like that.
He had Montezuma's revenge, so he couldn't make it through a take without going to the shitter.
Yeah, so
because they filmed in Mexico.
Just so you know, he was basically Harrison Ford doing Harrison Ford shit and just like pulled out his gun and just shot the dude.
Right. Which
He's
is
like, that'll be enough.
Well, it's so the character. Like, it's so like what Indiana Jones would do. I love that. I love that. And like, I feel like once you hear that story and you know it, you can see the like exhaustion in his face, where it comes off as just like, fuck it. Like, I'm just get out of my way. like it's been a rough day.
It's been a real rough day. I'm very dehydrated right now.
Right. Much less with this dude in sores. I'm gonna fight with a whip. Nah. Nah.
And then like, Harrison, you know that wasn't real, right? Like, we could have just cut. And he's like, nah, man, I'm going to use that. I'm not doing this.
I found out too. And yeah, apparently we're on an Indiana Jones tangent here. But I found out that line in Last Crusade where Indy and Sean Connery are discussing the blonde-haired girl that finds out that she's a Nazi, right? Yeah. And Sean Connery's like, oh, I knew she was a Nazi. And Harrison Ford says, like, how? And he goes, oh, she talks in her sleep. That line is improv. And the set just, like, erupted with laughter at it, so they kept it. And then that, like, makes Indy and his dad Eskimo brothers. Right?
It's like,
right, yeah.
Dad, really?
Mm-hmm. I got my dad's sloppy seconds. All right. Great.
It's a lot of movies that delve into that.
But it's Sean Connery, I mean, so it's believable. All right, so Batman's here in the bank vault. Oop, that's not going to be good. We just had a Scarecrow dart to the back of the neck. That is either going to make him go to sleep.
He's still going to throw hands.
Hallucinate.
He's still going to throw hands, though. Look at him. He's like, I don't care.
Yep, things are about to get real crazy in here.
It's like between Joker, Scarecrow.
As far as like who's the scariest?
Stay away from their gas.
Right. Their chemicals. Right.
That's pretty much their biggest weapon.
Yep. Oh man, he's struggling. Well, the parents, right? We gotta see the parents. Yep. Okay, yeah, that would be Bruce's greatest fear. What was that trailer? I think it was for like maybe one of the maybe like a Batman Telltale game.
Yeah,
where it's cut between a Thomas Wayne speech or a letter or something where he's like, son, I know as you like get older, you may stay out late at night. Or spend your money on frivolous things, right? And like it's all these things that sound just like a regular Playboy, but the audience obviously knows the way that Bruce ends up. He's doing all those things, but totally not in the way that he's being warned against them. I do think that would be his biggest fear of letting down his parents, especially his father.
Yeah, but then they came out with the VR, Batman VR.
Really?
And that was
it Telltale as well?
I don't think it was Telltale. It may have been, but that's when they delve into the whole mafioso, the Wayne family. Basically, the way they put it in the game is that the Wayne family fueled a lot of the crime. They were like the big, like we've had the conversation. Like they were like 2 or 3 main families
in Gotham. There's the Waynes, the Arkhams, and the Cobblepots. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about a morally gray at best version of Thomas Wayne, as opposed to like the idyllic father figure?
it brings more dimension into the character. I feel like to a
Yeah.
certain extent.
I
But I,
also
mean,
think
if
it
you're so
cheapens.
yeah, if you're using it, it's like doing that to Papa Clark.
Right. Yeah, to Pa Kent.
Yeah, if you do that to Pa Kent and it's Papa Clark, to Pa Kent, if you do that to like him and make him that corruptible, then it's just like that kind of ruins the morality of the character that we've known and loved so much.
I
And
agree.
there's certain things that you can change about.
It's like,
certain
what if
characters.
Uncle Ben was an asshole?
Yeah. I mean,
I
don't think in Spider-Verse, like not Into Spider-Verse, but Spider-Verse, the whole event, there's
Okay.
not one.
The first one, right?
Yeah, the one with the
Morlun, the energy sucking vampire. Okay.
So I don't think there's any version
From space.
of him. You done?
I just remember when that wasn't Spider-Man's greatest villain was a energy sucking spider totem
Literally
eating vampire from space.
All of that's their.
It's so confusing. Have you ever tried explaining Morlun to someone who's like not into comics?
No, I don't bother.
Give that a shot.
I don't bother.
Give that a shot next time.
It's ridiculous.
Just try.
'Cause
Their face is gonna go like just looking through you.
Because
in
there's
like
a way
2
you can
seconds.
explain it to like make it understandable.
Space vampire.
But,
I'm not buying it.
Venom is from space. Or
Yes.
the symbiote is from space.
Right. But that makes. I was about to say that makes sense.
It
but-
doesn't. It doesn't.
Well, it makes comic book sense, I guess.
A lot of
But
things
it makes
make comic book
it makes
sense.
more sense than energy vampires from space. Maybe that's just
I
me.
feel like that's very. But with the Phoenix Force, that's almost the same thing, but it's just energy, and
Right. Not a fan.
I like the idea of the Phoenix Force, like what they did with A versus X, but But I was saying I don't think there's any like Spider-Verse version of Uncle Ben that is an actual asshole.
Right.
Parker, yes. Peter,
Sure.
there is.
Yeah. But every version of Uncle Ben is good.
He's the
Moral base.
Yes, the
Yeah.
moral base.
Yeah. So really nothing going forward from Bruce getting hit with that dart. We have an unreliable narrator at this point, right? Like we don't know what we can discern as actual reality through Bruce's eyes.
Yeah, because at this point, after seeing that and hearing, his
The news report where they're like, he failed.
Yeah.
Like, obviously she's not, like, repeating it that many times. If she's even mentioning that, like, Batman didn't catch Scarecrow.
I mean, you win some, you lose some, but it's Batman, so he has to win every time, right?
He didn't have prep time, bro.
Oh, well. That's literally, and here's my issue with prep time is like, if he does not have that, then what is he?
A really
He's still-
rich guy.
That's it.
But
And
I would
he's gonna
argue that
lose-
limitless wealth is the best superpower.
Well, is it?
Yes.
Because, it's not going to stop somebody from blowing up his house. It's not going to stop.
I mean, what if the, like, steel bars in his house are, like, I don't know, explosion proof?
Is his neck unbreakable?
Sure.
That's
In
what,
the- in
that's
the
what
ba-
Wilk is
in-
gonna
in the
do.
bat suit.
in the
Right.
bat suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'll give you that.
That's a cool way to show that his fear is death. Number 2 most widespread fear
Death.
is death.
Yeah.
Do you know what number 1 is?
What?
Public speaking.
I could see that, yeah. I don't like to speak in public.
Right.
I don't know. It can be like 10 people. I still get a little shook
Yeah.
up.
I've gotten better with it as I've gotten older, I guess. I'm just more exposed to having to do it.
I perform on stage in front of people.
Right.
I feel
That's
a little bit
different.
more. Yeah, I feel a lot. That's what your element is. So
Yeah.
it's like, and that was like on a workplace stage.
And I feel like, you have something in your hands. Like to quote Ricky Bobby, like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Right.
His hands just
Right.
rising.
That's right. But no, that's always been interesting to me that some people would rather die than speak in public.
Because the embarrassment might cause them to die.
I guess so.
That's what they're thinking.
I would die. Sweet. I'm such a sucker for like the Zeppelin stuff in this series. Just something about a Zeppelin going over a city.
It's
like Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow or something, or
yeah,
like a low tech Blade Runner.
I can see what you're
Right.
saying.
Well, there's that Zeppelin in Blade Runner, right? That has the like big. It's not the Coke ad. It's the like lady speaking. That's I think she's like advertising for the colonies or the off-world something.
Just it's so in such a more advanced area. It's so like an old style of transportation.
Timeless.
This is a time.
It feels both futuristic and in the past at the same time. So this design of Scarecrow is all right. When they do the redesigns for the new adventures of Batman and Robin, when Tim Drake is brought along, that design for Scarecrow is the shit. He's wearing like a black like trench coat and like a kind of a flat build, like a farmer's hat almost looking, and he has a noose around his neck that's like hanging there.
Kind of like a Jeepers Creepers type.
Very much so, yeah. It's really good. It's very creepy. And see, this is why you don't escape in a blimp. Now there's holes in the blimp. Because it's a fucking balloon.
It's a fucking balloon.
Right? And balloons pop.
But it's a Zeppelin, so it's made out of some type of metal. But with like...
Well, there's a metal frame.
Yeah. But it's still aerated, so if you pop it, it's still gonna fall.
Oh, man. He did not get... What? So... The only reason that guy lived is because he happened to fall on, like, a banister? Batman didn't, like, send down a... I kept thinking, like, Batman, he'll shoot down
like he basically trampolined off of, like, an awning.
To the concrete, we would have to assume.
Awning ex machina.
Right.
Just point out, like,
cool
cinema
scene.
scenes. Oh, that was pretty dope.
Right.
Yep. I am the knight.
I am Batman. Yes, love it.
And then it goes away.
Mm-hmm. This feels more like a Green Lantern story.
Green Lantern, yeah?
Like he found the willpower.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because I was actually explaining to someone last night that, in my opinion, Green Lantern and Thor are more similar characters than people would originally think. And that they are both linked to an internal struggle rather than an external struggle. So as long as Green Lantern's will is strong, he is a powerful hero.
That is true.
As long as Thor is worthy, he is a powerful hero. But when he becomes unworthy...
Yeah, and that's really like that's like I said, internal. That's pretty much your problem.
Right, there's no bad guy to punch in the face with that.
So it's like if you're going through some existential crisis, and that's basically where the movie, like the MCU movies kind of went to.
Well, that's where they're going, especially with the announcement that Natalie Portman will be Lady Thor. You have feelings about that, Huey?
Okay, Jane Foster was not bad.
I like that run.
I like the run.
Yeah.
It was just...
And, like, you had to know...
It wasn't my favorite. It wasn't, like...
Yeah, but do you have a favorite Thor run? I don't have a favorite Thor run.
Not for real.
Right.
I do like in, was it Fear Itself, when they went up to Asgard and everybody got Asgardian weapons, and that was awesome.
Okay, that is cool.
That was dope. And guess who created those weapons?
I mean, you know that...
Tony Stark.
Of course. I mean, you know that Thor will eventually be back. Like, maybe they do, like, one or two movies with Natalie Portman as
what was it like?
Lady Thor.
Wasn't Jane Foster... Didn't she, like, have a sickness or something? Was it, like... and her becoming Thor, like... saved her life or something.
That sounds right. It's been a while since I've dabbled in that, to be honest with you.
If they don't just push, I hope they don't push this girl power movement. Just let it happen organically.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just push it
to where it feels forced.
Yeah, because for those that don't know anything about Marvel or DC comics in general, then you're going to think that it's just male dominated. Mm-hmm. And some of the most powerful characters in both respected, companies are female characters. Right. And it's just that because of the movies not giving them like you only really had Black Widow for a minute.
Right.
And
she's very like low powered, I would say. Yeah, she's not Captain Marvel.
No, I mean, depends on which Captain Marvel as far as like Carol Danvers, what point. Right. Because I agree, she gets cooler after she had the costume change.
You might want to keep it tight. Yeah, tighter lock on those there. So, Batman has literally given Scarecrow a taste of his own medicine.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. How's that medicine taste?
I feel like...
You flavored? That's The Office. Yep. I can't take credit for that one. So, he's scared of bats, okay? Or I guess maybe it's just a manifestation of a fear of Batman. I do love that scene in Batman Begins when Scarecrow has been gassed with his fear toxin, mm-hmm. and you see through his eyes for a moment how he is seeing Batman, and Batman's like, there's like tar and stuff like coming out of his mouth, and like his eyes are all like devil looking, and like there's not the usual like space mm-hmm. for the mouth and the cowl. It's just like all one solid thing. That's horrifying, that picture. Bullock, you were the J. Jonah Jameson
of this world. That's what I was about
to
say. That's so irritating. Those characters are irritating. And then you find out at one point mm-hmm. that they have done something to further along at least one or two villains, and then they just won't take credit for it.
Right.
With Scorpion and J. Jonah.
Oh, yeah. He hires him to take out Spider-Man, right?
He creates him.
That's right.
Especially like the 90s cartoon.
Oof. All right. Now, I'm not going to lie. The yellow's working with the
sunglasses,
black, right? And
the sunglasses
and the longer coat, yeah. Aha! Bat shadow. Quick, Robin!
Since he already
generate the bat shadow. Okay, so that was Nothing to Fear. Thoughts before we progress into last laugh here?
It's just a really good episode.
Yeah, dude, it's just super solid, man. Like there's really only one episode in this whole series that I consider bad. Mm-hmm. And we'll get there, like sooner rather than later. But what's funny about it is in order, it's next to what some might consider the best episode of the series. So it's just funny that those two are like right next to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm referring to I've Got Batman in My Basement is the name of the episode that I think is just bad.
Is that a Joker one or is it...
No, it's a Penguin one. But like Batman is like knocked out and it like fairly early, and there's this group of kids that are like playing detective and stuff in the neighborhood, and they find him and they keep Batman in the dude's basement, and like Penguin finds out where he is and starts like, it's almost kind of like a Home Alone situation.
Oh, that's annoying.
Right.
Penguin's a good villain.
He's not the problem in it. It's the kids. It's the Batman being like a secondary character in that episode. But it's right next to Heart of Ice, which is the like legendary Mr. Freeze episode.
I was about to say
won an Emmy and stuff.
I love Mr. Freeze.
Right. I can forgive
hate what they did. I hate what
everybody chill. It's Shoemaker. Joel Schumacher, at least. Let's not tie Tim Burton into that.
I thought that was Tim Burton.
No, he by that point had nothing to do with the series. He directed the first two, and he produced Batman Forever.
Okay.
And then was gone after that. So I like most of Burton's work. I don't want to associate him with the abortion that is Batman and Robin.
It was literally just one quip after the other.
Yeah, just bad ice puns.
Just why?
So ice to see you.
One more. Give me one.
What, we got to put him on ice. I'm sure that's got to be in there, right?
No.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, fuck that. All right, let's focus on good Batman.
Bad.
So again, at this point, we would usually go into world events that are occurring at the same time of this episode. It's still from September of 1922, which we covered that whole month in our first episode of our coverage of Batman the Animated Series. So I'm going straight into The Last Laugh. We have the WB logo on pause, and I'm hitting play in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so we have another Joker episode here.
Mm-hmm.
Second time. You get to see Mark Hamill again. Do you have any memories of this one? Does that title at all bring anything back? Or I want to say this is a Joker uses his laughing gas toxin on the city.
Like, I remember watching this series when I was younger, but now it's just pretty much just bringing back memories rather than I remember this episode.
Right.
It's like
now, I've seen this series a lot as an adult.
Yeah, see, no, I have not.
Okay.
See, I would, if I rewatched it, if we watched like Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, definitely be able to be like, okay, so this episode brings me back.
Okay.
I rewatched Justice League
of all the Timverse DC animated U stuff, this is the series I've seen the most. That's a cool title card.
That's such an old school, and that seems like that would be like a Max Fleischer type.
Absolutely. That influence is all over this series. April Fool's Day in Gotham.
Well, guess who's going to be out to play on April Fool's Day?
Does not sound fun. Okay, I'm kind of digging this score here. It's better than Hans Zimmer, I can tell you that.
Which was Hans Zimmer?
The guy who did the score for the Bale Batman movies.
Yeah, it was like no recognizing.
Fuck that, man. Like,
that's like Mike said he loved that one. He was just like, there's no.
Right, it's two notes, and not in the good way that like Jaws is two notes.
Yeah.
It's two like.
You like hum that,
right?
Hum it comfortably,
right? No, this theme is so much better. Now, if something like Joker's laughing gas toxin existed, that would be a pretty terrifying chemical weapon.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be dying necessarily from.
You could die of laughter eventually.
Yeah.
So, does that make the Joker is that a war crime? Like him using gas on people? Because like after World War I and stuff like mustard gas and stuff was like outlawed and considered a war crime. That's why when like the Syrian government and whatnot did it like on their own people.
I feel like if it was just for the
caper.
No, if it was for the means of war, then it would be a war crime.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would just be a regular crime.
Just a regular crime. Put it on the list of many.
Yeah.
For the Joker. So I think this is the first episode where we have the new Alfred voice. If you've noticed it.
Yeah, you did say that
Right.
they changed the character.
The voice,
the voice
pretty early. The first one was like more kind of droll, sir. Where I don't know.
Just like
I like this one a lot.
the typical
Butler.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of like how this guy's is like a little higher and like a little like snarkier. Because like there's
that pretty much set the tone for
Yeah.
Alfred throughout the whole entire
For
any
you.
series that he's been in.
absolutely. Like, Alfred should be kind of... He's, like, the only person that's, like, maybe in, like, Dick Grayson, too, that's, like, allowed to make fun of Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember a scene specifically in Dark Knight Returns, in the animated movie, when, like, he's stitching up Bruce Wayne and stuff and, like, you know, resetting his shoulder and everything. Someone calls the Wayne Manor, and Alfred answers the phone and goes, Wayne Infirmary. All right. Uh-oh. Fear toxin. Getting even the radio guy, man. So just all society's about to start crumbling, right? Okay, the Joker's in the sub. That seems like something the, like, 60s Joker would do.
Yeah.
Roll.
The shark repellent.
Right. The Cesar Romero Joker. I do kind of like the clown mask stuff, you know. It reminds me of, like, no, I kill the bus driver. Like that scene in the Dark Knight. Always a lady walking a baby. And bye-bye, baby. It seems like it would be fun at first, right? It's kind of like everybody gets a big case of the giggles. Oh, and they just get to, walk right up. So the other guys...
Dyspnea.
What are we...
Dyspnea, that is what they would die from.
Oh, thank you. That's what you were looking up.
Yes.
Okay. That's literally dying of laughter.
Yes, that's dying of shortness
okay.
of breath. And that's just like, if you're like running and you can't catch up. But that is what would cause you to die from the laughter. Like it would... And it's genius because, you know, people would think, oh, they are dying from laughter. No, it's the fact that they're suffocating
right.
and dying from their asphyxiation.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
There's layers to this.
Right.
It's not just the laughter.
Layers.
You know, you're a kid and you're just thinking about it and you're just like, oh, they're dying from laughter. No. There's more to it.
Cool. So we got scientist Batman here. Chemist Batman, right? Has to find like a anti-serum to laughing gas. Why are you looking at me like that, Huey?
Just threw my head to the side. I was listening to you, man.
Oh, okay. All right. It looked like a man.
See,
Right.
he can do a lot.
Okay.
No explanation needed.
Right. Well, there is an explanation.
There's an explanation,
right.
of course.
He made a vow when he was like 8.
It's such a comic book thing.
I mean, yes. It's such the second comic book character, like the second like superhero comic book character ever.
Like, go ahead, man, throw that on there.
Yeah, you probably need that.
Bink.
Alfred. Making a mess isn't funny. You're the butler. I wonder if Bruce in his head is like, you know it's going to be you that's cleaning this up later. Right?
I don't pay you to break
Right.
things, Alfred.
All right. Now it's personal.
So yeah, it causes insanity as well. So I mean, it's just like a hallucinogen
Okay. Yeah.
as well.
Well, sanity is like gravity, right?
I guess.
Just needs a little push.
Is that Dark?
That's Dark
that's
Knight
Dark
again.
Knight.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Stark raving mad. That's a good Joker plot.
Yeah.
April Fools get the whole city on laughing gas. Where is that coming from? Maybe it's the sub that's making me think of the 60s Batman stuff, because that's in the 60s Batman movie, is they have that penguin sub.
Whoop. Because
Joker's such a bitch.
I could go on and on about how much he's a great villain, but he's a great villain for Batman.
Yes.
Literally, for anybody else, they would have probably already killed him at this point.
Yeah, they probably would have.
If they had the
if they don't have a no kill code.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, there's a good bit of them, but not too many of them have like a no kill code.
Yeah, I feel like that's more of a DC thing than it is a
kill
Marvel
code thing. I feel like Marvel has a lot of like people that, I mean, the X-Men, with the mutant thing, they don't want to kill people.
No.
But
if it happens,
it happens.
Wolverine kill people?
Of course, that's his thing.
Right. He's the best at what he does.
Yes.
And what he does isn't very nice.
He would fuck up the whole entire timeline just to get that result. Like, okay, this person created Ultron.
Done.
Gotta go kill Hank Pym.
Right.
Don't do it because it might destroy the timeline. Nah, man.
Nah.
Gotta go kill him.
But Ultron.
Gotta go kill him.
Right. Listen, bub.
Hope Summers. Oh, she's the reason why the Phoenix Force is coming here? Gotta go kill her.
Those Summers. Nothing but trouble. That whole
family. Gotta
go
kill him.
Oh, it's a robot clown. Now that I say that, might be that is pretty terrifying. I'm not a big fan of clowns. And,
are you not really?
I mean, who likes clowns?
Some kids.
I guess
kids like clowns.
I am not a child.
Were you ever a fan of clowns?
I was never big into clowns. No.
It was like a terrified thing, or
no,
is it
not
just
terrified. Just kind of like it's just
what's
weird.
The point of
right?
You?
It's just I don't know. It feels antiquated, maybe.
It's like it's unnecessary.
Right.
You can have fun without the face paint
and like that
the big shoes.
That random time, maybe 5 years ago, when there were all these videos surfacing of a clown on a bridge in the middle of the woods.
I'm beating your ass.
Right.
I'm not even
I'm running.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Right.
I'm gonna run you down with my car.
Yeah,
this is what you wanted, right?
Right.
You either wanted me to run, or you might be a psycho killer.
Right. Kiss kiss gay, fa 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 better. Oh, Talking Heads. All right, yeah, cool. Somebody out there
is
probably singing along.
Probably a lot of people are.
Right.
Just not me right now.
Psycho killer.
Man. The video of it was that group of kids that were they were in that parking deck, and they just it was they had that dummy and a hammer, and it was 5 black guys just walked up to him, and then they saw that it was 3 of them. They saw him just do the hammer thing with the dummy head, and then they moved back for a second. And then they were like, "Oh no, fuck this!" Because I got to get to my car, and they ran down on them kids. And I'll show you the video. It's hilarious. They beat the shit out of these clown motherfuckers. They beat the shit out of them. And I was like, "Look, man, what do you want?"
This was it, right? Yeah, you gotta be able to accept the consequences like that. But then I'm also not a fan of robots. Robots.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, do you think Homo erectus was scared of Homo sapien?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Are robots our replacement as far as artificial intelligence and stuff is concerned? Those that robot that has personhood in Saudi Arabia.
That's on them, man.
Dude, but that's fucking terrifying, man.
There's no point in that.
And those the Facebook language thing that there was some interpreter bots or something like that, and they had to turn them off because they invented their own language and started talking to each other. Fuck that. That is how Skynet happened.
It's not a real language, though.
the robots are talking to each other.
They would talk to each other regardless.
And that we can't...
Binary code,
that we
talk to
can't
each other.
understand.
Do you understand binary code?
No, but people do.
People would decipher that as well.
Mm-mm.
I feel like somebody would. But don't do stuff like that.
Like
don't create stuff like that.
Like, hey, you're a robot too? I'm a robot. That's crazy, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, all these guys on Facebook just giving away their information for free. That's crazy.
I have like 27 codes.
Did you ever thought about, I don't know, maybe killing all humans? Did you ever think about that?
Crossed my mind last week.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do that. Let's
Had
kill
that
all
idea
humans.
like last week. Fuck that.
Yeah, man, not a fan. So,
fuck
point
that.
being, a robot clown is
just
a good
your
vortex of fear.
vortex of fear.
Right.
Something that I just don't want to be a part of right now.
No,
if
man.
I
What's
could
a
live
robot
the rest
clown?
of my life without this, there's way too many movies that gear towards that being a bad idea. But,
Yes.
And that is human mind that's not a scientist just coming up with a script and writing it.
But
and
dude, also though, like, science fiction has a habit of becoming science fact eventually.
you know,
Like, take Superman, for example. Him not being able to see through lead was just a comic thing because lead is very dense, right? And then come to find out, lead actually stops X-rays. So that's why, like, when you go to the dentist, they put that vest on you that covers your chest.
Do you not think that was something that they thought of at the time? Like,
I don't think so.
do
Well,
you
I mean,
think it's just like, oh,
okay.
Superman says he uses X-ray vision
Right.
and it is radiation. I like to think that some characters
radiation
are just
in 1938,
yeah.
before we've detonated a nuclear device.
I mean,
I don't think we were there yet, man. And another example is multiverse theory.
But that's years and years of research. They didn't just come up with the A bomb like in a year. That's years and years of research.
And none of that would have been public.
None of it would have been public.
Right. Especially not
you're
for
finding out
two
about
Jewish kids in right.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah.
You're finding out about like civilizations in America that were like affected by a bunch of bull crap, you know. And I'm pretty sure there's still oh man.
Yeah. Fucking robot
Kill it.
clowns, man. But take the multiverse theory, for example, too. Like, that was
Perfect
invented
cube.
for the Flash, right?
Yeah.
But as science goes on, there's more and more evidence of multiverse theory.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, it can be so simple as like the episode of Community. You watch Community, right?
No.
So it's an episode of Community where they were at Abed and Trey in Troy's house, and they were all fighting, and they ordered a pizza, and one of the guys were like, okay, I don't feel like getting this pizza, and nobody else feels like getting the pizza, so what we're going to do is we're going to flip a coin, and each person gets a number, whatever, how you did it. And, you know, whoever gets this, whatever, they have to, they'll get the pizza.
Oh, that's a cool image.
Abed's, yeah, that's pretty dope.
That's classic.
That is the Joker.
Right. All right.
But anyway, Abed's like, you do realize that you just created 6 different universes. Meaning whoever gets whoever has to go get the pizza,
That's
something
hilarious.
is just going to happen,
Right.
you know.
Right. That's funny.
And that's pretty much how I like to interpret the most, is like all the different outcomes that could have happened.
Right.
Different, you know, in some universe that outcome did happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just in our universe, like
didn't.
I went and got the pizza.
Right. Just so point being, I feel like some science fiction is there as like a warning. So, you know, iRobot kind of shit. Watch out
Dude,
for that.
our robot should be in a definite, you know, that should be a definite warning.
Cautionary tale.
It's a cautionary tale that you just don't do that. And there's actual like rules to
robotics.
that you just don't create things that are self-aware.
But we do.
We do because it's
Kinda
the future.
a lot. Right.
Because we're lazy. lazy civilization that we just want our technology to do things for us instead of us.
It's true, but that
know,
will replace the, low-wage American worker, or really any worker around the world.
You're still gonna have to pay somebody to do something.
Right, but like, if you don't think automation can take out an industry, like, go to your local, well, maybe not local, but go to your nearest car factory, and there may be like one person running like the control panel for the assembly line, but the whole rest is robots. Where 30, 40 years ago, it would be hundreds of people.
My brother works at, I think it's either Honda or Mercedes or something like that, and he works the assembly line. Mm-hmm. It's really like small stuff, like having to put a seat in
that needs
screws.
More like right. Eventually, there's gonna be a robot that can do that,
but it's not gonna be accurate. It's not gonna be as accurate as a human would be.
So, eventually.
But it's not always going to be that way. I think people, they've tried to do it. Like you're not gonna. Would you really get a self-driving car and trust it? Just put bitch on autopilot and just like, let's go. Some Teslas do that,
right?
But I ain't no.
To me,
I don't trust people on the other roads.
If all of the cars are
because you don't trust everybody,
right? But that's the way right now, is that I'm not concerned about my driving. I'm concerned about somebody else's driving.
That is this image is always a thing.
Yep.
With
Here we
Batman
are again.
Joker is like he's always dangling over some.
Yep.
And Batman has to save him. Batman has to save him.
Yep.
Sits him down his little booty and ties him up. Let's do this again next week, eh?
Right. Pretty much. Yep. Pretty much. Because he won't kill him because of some sense of morality.
Or send him to send him somewhere outside of Gotham, bro. Gotham has proven to not have the best security as far as their prison system.
That request being made, and other prisons being like, "Nah, we're good." Nah.
You guys want to send him over to Metropolis? Superman's over there. I'm pretty sure, we don't really hear too much about any known.
Joker gets close to killing Superman in the World's Finest crossover here. That's what Lex hires him to do.
I can imagine that.
All right, there we go. Last laugh. I think Batman got the last laugh there, I would say. Yeah. So yeah, just a solid Joker episode. I mean, that's almost as classic of a Joker scheme as you could get. It's April Fool's Day in Gotham, and he's going to infect the entire city with his laughing gas poison and go on like a stealing spree. Yeah,
to more on the Joker and Superman thing. Did I ever show you, or you probably already know about it, when Batman he let Joker just run crazy through Metropolis? And it was basically the first time Superman had ever met the Joker.
No, is this from the comics?
This is a comic panel I was reading.
Okay,
and it was the Joker does what he does, and he puts a bunch of bombs throughout Metropolis, and he's on top of the Daily Bugle
Planet Bugle Spider-Man.
I'm getting all these things mixed up, man. The Daily Planet.
Right.
And he's just sitting on top of it, and he has detonators and everything. And Superman comes up. He's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm the Joker. I'm about to blow up your city." And he's like, "Oh, really? Okay. Why are you here?" He's like, "I'm just here to have a little bit of fun. Everybody in this building's about to die if you can't save them." And he's like, "Oh, well, I already evacuated everybody here, and here are all your bombs you planted." And he just threw them at him, and he's like, "Oh, who the hell are you?" He's like, "Well, I am Superman. I'm the guy that runs this place."
Who doesn't know who Superman is?
Yeah, well, who doesn't know where the Joker is at this point?
Yeah, that's
I guess.
fair too.
So he sends him over. He basically grabs him and he's just like, look, I don't know who you are, but you don't need to be here. And so, he's taking him back to wherever he's from, and then I think it's either he meets up with Batman or he calls Batman. I think he's meeting up with Batman, and he's like, dude, why did you send this dude over here?
Right.
He's like, well, I just really wanted to know what would happen if, the Joker were to run rampant in Metropolis. He's like, look, buddy, long story short, paraphrasing, if you let him do that again, you're not gonna have your play date ever again. Right. Because you possibly would kill him.
Yeah. Or like the Joker, that's very irresponsible, Batman. The Joker could have killed hundreds of people.
But isn't that not a Batman thing to do, though?
I mean, kinda, I guess.
It's definitely a Batman thing to do.
I don't know. I feel like he wants to protect people, and letting the Joker out anywhere is not protecting people.
But he knows that Superman
will stop him.
It's just like that in Justice League Unlimited, or before Justice League Unlimited, and it was like when the Justice Lords come and take over, and Batman, you find out about all his contingency plans that he had against everybody, and that's when they're like, dude, you pretty much have every bit of all of our weaknesses.
Right, how to beat all of us.
And he's just like, how do I know I can trust y'all? When the Justice Lords came in,
Yep.
And he's like, dude, in my head, I'm like, dude, there was a Justice Lord version of you too. But
Batman knows who he is.
Yeah, Batman knows who he is.
Right.
Yeah. Just like everybody else didn't know who they are.
He's the dude disguised as a dude playing another dude.
That is the perfect. Yeah, that is. He is Kurt Lazarus.
I know who I am. Do you?
But that's what caused him to get kicked out of Justice League, and then that's what started Justice League Unlimited. And my whole thing about Batman is like, a great asset is to have Batman on your side, but your biggest downfall is trusting
What's
Batman.
the best attribute that Batman brings to a team? There's a right answer.
What would be the right answer?
I think it's his tactical planning.
Yeah,
right? Because Batman's the best planner.
Right? I was gonna say something like that.
Right.
I didn't want that to be the wrong answer.
No, I think that's the right answer.
His tactical planning, but
and that's also called what time?
Prep time.
So Batman's best aspect that he brings to a team is prep time.
But he also
because he's the best at it.
you just no. That would be the only. Okay, that's
rest my case.
If that's the best thing.
All right, that's been these guys. That's been Classic Culture Rewind.
That's the best thing that he can add to the group. There are other people that are in that group. Who is the person
do it better than him?
Yeah, who's the one person that Superman has said that he is the most afraid of fighting? That's the right answer.
Tell me. I don't know.
Martian Manhunter.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Martian Manhunter is the one that he said that he feels like he could lose in a fight with. Martian Manhunter is a fucking genius.
Yeah, but except that a little fire will bring him to his knees.
I mean, a little magic, little Alakazam.
There's a difference between magic and fire.
But I'm saying a little magic could, throw off Superman.
There's a great line in
but it still doesn't make them any less.
In New Frontier, where Batman is talking to Martian Manhunter, who's in disguise as this detective.
Was he black or white at this one?
He's white in that one. But Batman knows that he's an alien. He knows there's something wrong with him, and he had come across this path before, and they were in a church that was burning, and Martian Manhunter, dropped to his knees and was hypnotized almost by the fire. And so they share information and they decide to work together. And Batman's leaving, and he's halfway out the window, and he goes oh, I'm not really sure what you are or where you came from, but I invested over $70,000 in a rock that can defeat the one in Metropolis. For you, all I need is a penny for a box of matches.
But the thing is, he likes to downplay.
But he's right though. It's fire. Corbin, man, I ain't got no fire.
Come in. Come in.
Come in,
Come
my
in.
man. I
Ain't got no fire.
ain't gonna fight. I quit smoking, man. If I had known that, I would stop smoking, man.
It's no. It's not a bomb. Because if it was a bomb, I would have a timer on it.
Oh, that movie's so
Classic.
good. Right. Love it. All right. Well, yeah, I think that's it for today. Be sure to join us next week where we cover episodes 5 and 6. Episode 5 is Pretty Poison. Guess who that is an introduction
I can
for.
only guess.
Right? Yep. And episode 6 is called The Underdwellers. So at least one of those is a good one.
At least one of them.
Right. The Underdwellers I don't remember too much of.
That's not going to be like a well-known
Right.
villain or anything.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just some kind of like. I think there's an X-Men episode that's similar to it, if I remember. Like
kinda
a
like
group of
filler
people
between-
that lived under in the sewers.
The age-old tale.
Exactly. Right. The haves and the have-nots. Right.
Right.
All right. This has been Classic Cartoon Rewind. I've been your host, Carter Hudson,
And I'm your host, UV.
and we'll see you next week, kiddos.
This has been a Grassroots Comics production. Da da da. So what's your story?
Well, some kind of silly cartoon.
You got a problem with cartoons?